All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's that time again where myself, Joshua Dickey, reads to you from my book, A Patriot's Journey, Forging Hope. Once again, this is Volume 1. Volume 2 will be coming out on July 4th. So stay tuned, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to Volume 2 coming out. I don't really subscribe to coincidences and things that happen, but I gotta say today is kind of weird because I'm just following these poems in order and as I wrote them. And so today's two poems, I'm going to read to you. The first one is actually called Kenna. And the surprising thing about that is today is her 13th birthday. So it's just kind of coincidental that I am reading a poem about my middle child on her 13th birthday. Once again, I don't subscribe to coincidences or things happen for a reason. And um, it's just, I just think it's just one of those weird fluke things that happen. And maybe after I'm done reading it and telling you what I was thinking when I wrote it, maybe I'll be able to get a little more clarity on the situation. So I'll just dive right in here. The poem's called Kenna. The day was the 14th of June. The cutest baby will be coming soon. She was here and she was there. Next thing I knew, she was everywhere. She didn't want contained or held to stay. If you managed to catch her, she would make you pay. She'd get into this and into that. A little while later, she was chasing the cat. She always wanted to be by your side. She didn't care to where, she just likes to take a ride. I love she tried little things that are new. These little adventures shaped you to hold like glue. I think it's awesome that you are crazy and free. Just don't lose yourself. That's who you'll always be. My promise to you is that I will be by your side. May your life be adventure and do everything with pride. So, I think when I wrote this, well, I'll just read what I wrote. It says, Kenna's about the birth of my daughter. I knew that I was going to deploy shortly afterwards, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to give her the best life possible. The negative side effects of a person experiencing with combat is the hypersensitivity to noises. For example, I could hear a clock ticking and drives me absolutely crazy. Kenna was a little wild child, and because she was so adventurous. She always wanted to be where you were and get up on and always be in your way. I faced a lot of problems being deployed, but when I held her, I knew everything would be fine, even the problems I was sure to face. I wanted to be able to show Tara that I was able to watch my children, and I wasn't too much stress for me. Kenna was a little pickle, and everything and everywhere she seemed liked at once. After a week or so, I was able to come to terms with properly watching her and having fun as a family. So I just wanted to go give a little, I guess, a little backstory into Kenna. Is that yes, she was born in June, today, actually June 14th, and I sent Tara and Delaney here already because I knew I was going to be deploying in August, and I had to go to NTC in July. So basically, I came here, watched her be born, took 2 weeks of leave, went to NTC for a month, came back here, Arizona, for another week, and then went back up to my unit in Alaska so we could deploy. Now, after I was done with all this deployment, by the time I was actually able to see her, about a year went by. So as soon as I seen her again, um, she was already basically walking in everywhere, and she had the big. Her eyes were so big and round and brown, and you could just tell she was going to be this little adventurous kid that just wanted to see and explore and do everything, but at the same time she was loving and caring, always wanted to be around you. So she was here and there. She just uh, it's kind of hard to put into words um, all the things that she has you going through, and um, but she does keep life exciting. Uh, and I think at times I get a little bit jealous of the way she could just do things and just be free with everything and not care and just, just be her. Because I could never be that. I was never that, even growing up. Um, Everything I did was always regimented and strict. It's like I was doing this and I was doing that. And it's like if I wasn't, I was training for this or I was training for that. There was no um, basically downtime, and um, but I just love her attitude and the way she's just a caring, sensitive kid, and I know she gets that from me. Um, I'm glad she gets her mama's IQ, so that's good. But she gets her dad's stubbornness and the adventurous side. So it's a pretty good combination of both of us, which makes it really hard to contain her sometimes. Um, but yeah, just to watch her grow into a young lady has just been an amazing thing, and um, yeah, it just makes me proud. Um, okay, the next poem is called Journey. It says, "How much fear can one man take? Let's hope it's before he wake. The war against these beasts caged inside, at times it's an emotional toll he cannot hide. Your family counts on you to be the protector. Doctors give you several types of drugs, so you feel like a defector. As a warrior, you face things head on. The doctor is playing you like a pawn. You only have this one life to live. To your family, you will freely give. Like a crab, you hide in your shell. You hate making your family's life a living hell. You stare at them, thinking, am I really that bad? At the end of the day, you're worse than you thought. That is sad. Why do you always hurt the ones you care so much about? You yell, you scream, you cuss, and you shout. You say, I am too broke, don't try it, there's no fix. This is the devil playing his mind games. You fell for his tricks. The Bible says, what was once lost can be found. Cowboy up and pick yourself and your loving family off the ground. The journey, I'm actually, for the first time, starting to realize my battles. I like to call it caged and beast at first. I couldn't move much more and always had this trap feeling. Um, it's hard when you have certain, say, parameters. And so, like, for example, when I was stationed in New York, I had a lot of places I could go. I lived in wide open places, so I could just take the dirt bike and four wheelers and, um, guns out anytime I wanted to, and just kind of just be free anytime I felt trapped or needed to get away or do anything. And then Alaska was the same way. We had the Alaskan pipeline, and you could just zip up and down the pipelines and go explore and get away from everybody and everything. So even though on the base you lived by people, you could still get away and be wide open and free by nobody, and just get away for the weekends and whatever. But then as I moved to Germany, um, being on right on top of everybody, not speaking English, um, not knowing much German, it just made life more and more difficult because you started feeling really confined and trapped, and then you started realizing these battles that you're fighting within because everything's starting to be highlighted more because things that you want to do you can't, and then you know your family wants you to do certain things, and then you just kind of are allowing yourself to get stressed out and not do the things that you should be doing in order to be a good parent. And nothing breaks somebody's heart more than just realizing the hard journey you're facing. And at first you're going through it and you're like, you go to the doctors and you're like, hey man, I just want to be better for my family. And so they recommend medication. And you're like, all right, cool. Yeah, you start taking it and things get a little better for a while, but then it doesn't work, and then you try something else and it doesn't work, and then you keep going up and down this path, but then you're not really identifying these issues that are bothering you. So you're not getting any better. And so your family is still being drug into the mud and still being these targets. And, you're not on this journey alone. I mean, however big your family is, that's how long the train is. And so you have to be aware of the actions all have reactions on the people behind you. So whatever I decided, or if I was selfish that day, they have to suffer the repercussions for my actions that I just did, because that's not always what is in the best interest of them. A lot of times it was just me being selfish, and then all of a sudden, it'd be my wife sitting there yelling at me about something, and I just kind of look at her like, so what? Like, I made my mind up. Like, that was just the way it is, and that was definitely never the way I wanted life to be, ever. I wanted a teammate in life, not somebody I dictated everything to. And when I realized I was doing that, it was hard to climb out of. I mean, because you got your pride. You don't want to admit you're wrong. You don't want to admit that um, you're allowing things to overtake you. And so then you get more defensive. But, I know my family had my best interest, because all they ever wanted to do was be with me. So, I mean, I wish I would have just done better at picking up the signs of them caring about me instead of taking it as a threat, because I did. I took it as in, no, you're trying to, you know, make me do what you want me to do, not what I want to do. And then you get that attitude, oh, I don't care, I'll do whatever I want. You're not my real dad. And it's just like, it's so hard to swallow that pill. It's just, it definitely made things a lot tougher for me. And, um, but then I knew where I had to rise above. I had to start thinking more about my actions and the reactions I'm going to get. Because the last thing you ever want to do is hurt your own family. Um, so, I tried to say, make some wrongs right, or right some wrongs, but that can't ever happen. So, I try to plan out really good fun trips and try to go over places, but then I always didn't do the best in environments with a lot of people, so that kind of drew back a little bit. Didn't make it as fun, but we're still able to accomplish and do a lot of fun things. Um, but rather than it be just a fun, carefree thing, it was kind of more of a stressful thing. Um, going into any city, it was, the way I just drove things. And I just had to keep working at it and working at it, and they just kept supporting me as we kept going through. And it was a journey we realized that we're all going to be on together, and we're just going to keep at it until finally everything gets easier, because we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop believing in each other because we hit a couple of bumps along the road. That's not what people do. So because we don't have a give up attitude, we're able to progress, and now we're doing better on trips. We're being a little smarter when we do stuff and planning, and it definitely makes things a lot easier, a lot less stress on me, and um, everybody's able to more fully enjoy themselves on these trips. So once again, stay at it, keep fighting the good fight, don't give up. You can reach me at forginghopepoetry@gmail.com. Thank you for your time.